It's recorder time! Hey boys and girls, Mrs. Ehorn here with you. I am hoping that we're going to be able to do this live over our Google Meets. But if not, or you weren't able to get on that live time, I want you to have your very first recorder lesson. It's so exciting. I hope you were able to get your recorder from your teacher on Friday. But if not, make sure you make contact so that you can pick up. You get to have your very own recorder. And some people call this a flute. It's not a flute. It is different than a flute. It's more like a whistle than it is a flute. A flute you play sideways and you blow across, sort of like you do into a Coke bottle, but with a recorder, you blow into it like you would a whistle, and the air splits in this little part right there, and that's what makes the sound. There's these little holes right here. We're going to learn all about those. And on the back, there's one hole, and you should also have, I'm going to show you on a bigger one, you should also have this little Velcro sticker on there. I put those on all of yours, so yours should have that. That's a little spot to know where to put your thumb. That's called a thumb spot. It's just like a comfy chair for your thumb. So your recorder is called a soprano recorder. And recorders come in lots of different sizes. The reason why yours is called a soprano recorder is because it's a little bit bigger than this one. This one is called a sopranino. So here's the size of yours. Here's the size of this one. So if I played the very first song you're going to learn, which is, do you know the name of the song? Hot Cross Buns. So if I played Hot Cross Buns on your soprano recorder, it would sound like this. What do you think if I played it on the sopranino recorder? Do you think it would be higher pitch or lower pitch? Think about it. Look at the size. Is it going to be higher or lower? Make your guess. Here's Hot Cross Buns on the sopranino. If you guessed higher, you're right, because the smaller it is, usually the higher pitch it is. The vibration is closer together. So here's your soprano. But there's also bigger recorders. This is called an alto recorder. Here's your soprano, here's the alto recorder. What do you think? Do you think the alto recorder is going to be a higher pitch or lower pitch? It's bigger. How do you think Hot Cross Buns might sound on the alto recorder? I have to really spread my fingers farther apart. If you guessed lower, you're right, because it's bigger. Yeah, so, and it also comes in an even bigger one. Here is your soprano one. This is called a tenor. What do you think the tenor is going to be? Higher pitch or lower pitch than your soprano recorder? I don't even know if my fingers can spread so far apart. Let's see. It's so huge. You know what? This isn't even the biggest size recorder they make. They make recorders and a bass. They make recorders that are as tall as I am. Those are called contra bass recorders. And their pitch is really low. They make a really low bass sound. So I just want you to know that recorders they come in all different sizes. And when you put all those sizes of recorders together, when they play together, it makes a really, really beautiful, a beautiful sound. And I'm going to link some of those different recorder ensembles in our music page. So look for those. So your recorder came in a case like this. Blue case, you're so lucky. Now, this is your very own instrument. The school bought them for you, and actually your community bought them through fundraisers that we do. So you get to have one. So take really good care of it. It's yours to keep forever and ever. So that means you're responsible for this instrument. So being responsible for an instrument means keeping it away from really hot temperatures, keeping it away from snatching kids, keeping it away from chewing animals. If you have a dog that likes to chew on things, they might want to chew on this. So keep it away from them. So in your recorder case, oh, you know what? I didn't put our strap on this one. Mine doesn't have a strap, but yours will have a red strap on it, and that's to hang around your neck. You also have that little thumb spot on there. But there's two other things that are in your recorder case that you're probably curious about. So those other two things, one looks like this. It's a little stick. But it has a little hole, kind of, it almost looks like a sewing needle, like a great big sewing needle. This is the cleaning stick that you're going to use to clean your recorder after you've been playing it for a while. Now, a lot of kids just think it's fun to clean their recorder. You don't have to clean it unless you've been playing it for a long, long time, but it's kind of fun anyway. I'll teach you about this in just a minute. And then there's also this little round thing like this. And if you look at the words on it, it says joint grease, do not eat. So what this is for, this joint grease is for, is your recorder comes apart right here. And if you look at your recorder, right here, it kind of has a little bit of, it's sort of like petroleum jelly, sort of like Vaseline. And it keeps your recorder from getting stuck, I guess. Now, I got a problem. I just put my recorder back on, and I've got to make sure that I put it back together correctly. Do you see that little piece, that little circle that says angel? I want to turn that so that it's lined up with where all the holes are. You see all the holes? So all the holes, where it's all the holes in a line, it lines up with that little round angel sign there. If it's turned like that, it's not lined up right. I've got to turn it so it's lined up. Okay? Here's the problem with the joint grease. We live in Cottonwood where it's hot. And this joint grease really is nothing but like petroleum jelly, like Vaseline. And what happens is that if it gets hot, it melts and can liquefy and can really make a mess out of your case and out of your recorder. My suggestion to you is to just toss this. You don't really need it. I've had my recorder that I play in class like for 10 years, and I never put any joint grease on it. Don't put this on your lips. Don't eat it. My suggestion is to just throw it away. If you don't want to throw it away, put it somewhere where it's not going to get hot. Maybe put it on your desk or something like that at home. So it's sticky, it's kind of messy. So I would say just get rid of the joint grease. But the joint grease, again, and you don't want to put too much on it either, because then this slips on and off, right? So again, my suggestion, joint grease, toss. And right, I put my thing back together. I got to make sure, is it lined up? Yep, that little angel thing sign is lined up. All right, the other thing, let's talk about the cleaning stick. So the cleaning stick So say you've been playing your recorder, you've been practicing for 20 minutes, and it's not necessarily spit that's going in there, but it's condensation, because you are blowing, if you're playing the recorder right, you're blowing warm air into the recorder. And so condensation can build up, and then sometimes that makes your notes a little squeaky. So if you're finding that, and also you need to swallow before you play, if you're finding that there's like water coming out of this part, you might need to clean your recorder. So you're gonna take, let me show you how to do this. You're gonna take a little piece of a Kleenex. You could also use a little piece of soft cotton, but it has to be something really thin. Now this is way too big. So I'm gonna tear a little corner off of this Kleenex, just like that. Then I am going to fold it and kind of make a little point like that. And then what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna thread it through that little part of the cleaning stick. And then I can kind of, that's kind of a lot, so I can pull some of that off like that. Now it's sort of like a Q-tip, not for your ears, but for your recorder. So you can take your recorder apart and you can clean out the inside. Look at that. And then you could take your recorder on this part and clean. This is what we call the mouthpiece. You can clean the mouthpiece. Clean it all up here, clean it all back here. Okay, that's your cleaning stick. And you don't have to do it before you play. You want to do it after you play. And then putting my recorder back together, I gotta line up. This is always a tricky part. As I see some kids, they want to line it up this way where it's lined up on the back hole. So that little gold part lined up. All right, so now that you know what's in your case, the joint grease, toss it, the cleaning stick, and your recorder, and yours also has that red neck piece on there. So now here's what I want you to practice. I want you to practice how to blow into your recorder, because it's really important to use soft breath. Soft, soft breath. So if you could imagine trying to blow out a candle, but you don't want to blow out the candle really quickly. You want to sort of let the flame kind of teeter just like that. You want to blow warm, soft air, just barely. Or maybe you had a feather on your hand and you just wanted to make the feather move a little bit, not blow it off your hand like this. You wanted to just make it move just a little bit. That's kind of the same thing that you're going to do with your recorder. And you're going to whisper the words do, 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 because my tongue is going to the roof of my mouth when I say do, 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 do. But I'm going to whisper it. Do, do, do. So when I put my recorder up to my mouth, I'm going to just barely put my lips on the very tip of it. I'm not going to have like a popsicle or something like that. Just very, very little bit. And I'm just going to whisper the words do, do, do. If you have your recorder, see if you can do that with me. Do, do, do. And I'm not putting my fingers on any of the holes at all. I'm just going do, do, do. But I'm not saying do, I'm whispering do, do, do. See if you can make it nice so it doesn't squeak, so it sounds really nice and crisp and clean. If I just blow, here's what it sounds like. Did you see my cheeks puffing out? That didn't sound good. But if I whisper, do, do, do. Much better, right? All right, so your homework for this week is to learn how to clean your recorder, is to practice do, 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 do. Get it nice and crisp and clean so it's sounding nice with a nice soft breath. If you're ready to start using your fingers, the recorder has assigned every finger of your hands, both hands, right and left, have an assigned seat, and it's very, very important. The number one thing that kids do wrong is they use the incorrect hand. Now, normally when we're together, I change my hand so it looks like you're looking in a mirror. It's called mirroring, but I'm not going to do that on the video, and I'm going to use my left hand. That's the correct hand. So your left hand is the one that goes on the top of the recorder. Thumb goes on the back hole. First, second, and third finger. Pinky doesn't get a seat. He never gets to sit down. And from your right hand, that goes on the bottom. And your right thumb goes on that comfy chair that's on the back of your recorder. And then the rest follow down. So we're not going to worry about this right hand so much because the first song we're going to work on just uses our left hand with these notes B, A, and G. My thumb is always going to stay on the back of the recorder. 1, 2, 3. So if you're ready to try practicing making some sounds, keep your thumb on the back hole. 1 stays on, add 2, then add 3. See if you can try. Watch my fingers again. So there's some homework, trying to make those clear. Always thumb on the back. 1, 2, 3. We're not learning the song, we're just learning 1, 2, 3. But it is the first 3 notes of Hot Cross Buns that we are going to learn. So 1, 2, 3, thumb on the back. If you get a squeaky sound, it might be that maybe you're not covering the back hole all the way. Sometimes that happens too. Ugh. Now what happened? My thumb slipped off the back. Keep that thumb on there, okay? So homework, learn how to clean your recorder, learn how to take it apart, put it back together correctly. What hand goes on the top? Your left hand goes on the top. 1, 2, 3. Right hand on the bottom. Right thumb goes on that comfy chair. So can you practice those things? And I hope we're going to get together and be able to share a little bit. But if not, just keep rewinding this, and hopefully we'll be together soon in Hot Cross Buns. Happy recorder playing, you guys. And parents, sorry, it's going to be a little noisy.